105.9 Academy FM.
The sound of Folkestone.
Well, the comedian Lucy Porter is currently on a UK tour and will be stopping off in Folkestone this Saturday night. She'll be playing the Quarterhouse here in Folkestone, and Lucy is on the line right now. Good morning.
Good afternoon, actually.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm lost.
I think you're an hour behind, love, aren't you?
Well, I am. I've been on since 10 o'clock, so I do apologise for that. Yeah, good afternoon, rather.
Good afternoon, yes, 12:30. You did just say 11:30 in your sound check, and your time check, and I got very... I'm easily confused. You should,
Me too.
You should know this about me.
Yeah,
anyway, yes, good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Nice to have you on the show. Now, as I said, you're on tour at the moment. How's it all going? You've been on the go since January, haven't you?
Lovely. Well, it's the longest, slowest tour in history.
Yeah.
It's about 40 dates, but spread out over half the year. So I'm on tour from January to June,
Fantastic.
and we're about halfway through now, and it's been absolutely lovely. Thank you. So
Excellent stuff.
I'm looking forward to coming to folks.
Excellent.
Years.
Fantastic.
Literally years.
Really?
Since I've been there.
Well, we look forward to having you back. And this is it's a People Person tour.
It's called People Person. It's fun to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can we expect when we come to see you?
Well, it's a dynamic, exciting hour of one woman standing on stage talking. But it's a true story. Basically, it's a true story about how I met my new best friend, Sophie.
Okay.
And that story is kind of interspersed with other little anecdotes, and I go off at tangents, and I talk quite a lot about, daytime television, quite a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Customer reviews on the Argos website, my husband's shortcomings and failings.
Yeah.
All of these things are covered in the hours, couple of hours that we're together.
Brilliant. I should think you should get a lot of material from daytime TV, though, really.
Well, I watch a lot of daytime TV, so I probably... I love it. So
Sure.
I do talk about Dom Littlewood quite a lot, because I'm particularly obsessed with him.
Oh, bless him. He's
And,
lovely. He's lovely as Dom Littlewood. I love him. He's great.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of time for anyone who's on daytime. I like all the programmes. You know those programmes where it's two people in different coloured fleeces selling things for...
Yeah.
£4.80 at car boot sales. That's my favourite. I love those.
Brilliant. So do I.
So yeah, there's a lot of that. But yeah, so it's a rich and varied show, really. I talk about lots of different things.
Excellent. So when did you start out in comedy then? When was your first gig?
I started, many moons ago in the last millennium, just before the turn, in fact. So very late 90s. I was working in Manchester, and I started doing some gigs in the sort of Manchester area. I did my first ever gig in Chester at a club run by the Comedy Police. So it was these two guys who would dress up as policemen, and then if the audience didn't like an act, they had to go woo, 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 and then the Comedy Police would come on with plastic truncheons and beat you off the stage.
Really?
So,
Wow.
Quite tough early gigs, and then I moved to London in the early 2000s, and I've been doing it ever since, really.
Okay, so who are your influences then in comedy?
Earliest was Dave Allen. In fact, there was a programme about Dave Allen last night or the night before, I think, and which I've taped and not watched yet.
Right, okay.
That's showing my age, isn't it? Recorded. Anyway.
I said that earlier. Yeah, I said that earlier. I said I'm going to tape the interview for you, and I know what you mean.
I know. Well, I still think of it as taped, but yeah, Dave Allen was one of my very early because my mum and dad loved Dave Allen, so
sure.
I grew up listening to and watching him, and then I always loved stand-up, really. So, people like Billy Connolly, Victoria Wood. I remember being really excited when she was doing bits of stand-up on telly, and Joe Brand, and, lots of influences. But I'm still being influenced to this day by, new exciting comics. Daniel Kitson.
Sure.
Is probably the comic of my generation.
Sure. I spoke to Helen Lederer for another radio station that I did, and
she's lovely.
She's great, isn't she? And she was telling me when she first started how difficult it was for a woman to be in the comedy business. Did you find that? Was it difficult for you?
Well, I think it gets easier all the time, doesn't it? So it was probably a bit easier when I started than when she did, and I'm sort of be easier. Hopefully, it'll be easier for women now. So
yeah.
I mean, it's a subject I get very bored of talking about, to be honest, because you always get the sort of women in comedy question, and the problem is you always kind of go, well, I don't know if it's harder being a woman in comedy because I've never tried doing it as a man.
Exactly. Well, we won't go there.
There's still time. There's still
time. Yeah. And not only have you performed in the UK, but you've taken the show abroad as well, haven't you?
I have been all over the place, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I've been really lucky. I've travelled sort of extensively. I've done America, South Africa, quite a few dates in the Far East, and
Brilliant.
yes, most continents except Australia. I've never done Australia, and I should put that right, but I just can't face the flight.
Yeah, well, we can't face the flight. It's a good few hours, isn't it, on the plane there? So
I think it's a day, and now I have two small children. The idea of taking two children under 3 on a 24-hour flight is,
no.
You know what, I think Australia's probably all right. I think they've really got enough comedians. They don't need me.
Excellent. And I was very interested in reading as well that you've done a lot of TV stuff and live work, but you also worked alongside Christian Slater. I was very interested in reading about this. Yes.
Are you of an age to remember Heathers at all? It was Christian Slater.
Yes.
So it was a Christian film that I love and loved growing up. Christian Slater and Winona Ryder in Heathers.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Huge for me. So anyway, yes. So it was exciting for me to meet one of my childhood heroes. Yeah, we did a play called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in Edinburgh at the festival a few years ago. First of all, God, about a few years ago now, about 8 years ago.
Sure.
And then we did sort of transfer to the West End for 6 months, and it was amazing. It was the best. I mean, just incredible. There were 15 comedians.
Wow.
In the cast, and Christian Slater and Francis Barber, and it was just astonishing. It was such a good laugh. But this is why I haven't done much acting since, because it would be hard to top that experience. Really, it was pretty much like starting.
Sure.
It was like starting a comedy career playing Caesar's Palace. You sort of go, there's not really many places to go after that.
Yeah, and also I've just read your biography as well. You're moving into films, I believe.
Well, I have been writing, yes, with friends. We've got a film project on the go, which we're hoping. I mean, the thing with film is it takes like about 15 years to get anything done. So I'm hoping that I will, before I die, I may see our film completed.
Right, excellent. What was that noise there?
I know, sorry, that sounded like I was doing something terribly rude. I couldn't have picked a busier street corner to stand on to talk to you, so I can only apologise.
That's all right, darling, no problem. So, of course, the tour, as I said, brings you into Folkestone on Saturday. Then you go to Deal and Andover, Southampton, Worthing, Teddington, all over the place. I think it
very
finishes...
slowly, a very slow progression
It
around
looks
the country.
like it.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the dates here. It is very slow as well, isn't it? It finishes on June the 28th in Bournemouth.
What could be finer?
I know, exactly.
June the 28th. That'd be nice, actually. I may be able to do the gig on the beach if it's nice enough.
Oh, who knows? If you get the weather, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
I know. Well, we'll see how we go in Folkestone this weekend. You know, similarly, we could sort of take it outside if we need to. So
yeah, we shall see.
Good to have the option
if the weather's good. So after the tour, what else is coming up? Any future projects after the tour?
Yeah, I am straight back into getting the next show ready for the Edinburgh Festival this year.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be called Northern Soul. So hopefully I'll be back on your radio station next year, playing the tour of that.
Definitely.
And I'm also, just doing lots of bits of radio and TV and writing. I've got a sitcom pilot that I'm writing and
fantastic.
Various things. It's trying to keep out of trouble, That's all we can ever do, isn't it?
That's it. So busy.
Yeah, well, just busy enough, and then looking after the kids that's fair enough a job in itself, really.
Sure, yeah, I can imagine. Well, that's Lucy Porter. It's the People Person Tour. Come into the Quarterhouse in Folkestone on Saturday evening. To book tickets, just call 01303 858 500, or you can go to the website, so thequarterhouse.co.uk. Lucy, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Such a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, and have a lovely day.
Thank you. Same to you. Good luck with the tour, and I'll see you on Saturday night.
Oh, see you then. Come and say hi. We'll have a wine. That'd be nice.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Mine's the white one. Okay, white wine will be lovely.
I'll get it ready.
Lovely.
I'll
Thanks,
get it chilled for you.
Thanks, Lucy.
All right, then.
Cheers. No,
Take care,
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
105.9 Academy FM.
Folkestone's radio station.